Alright, on the surface it's all sunshine and rainbows. An old dude and some young bloods having the time of their lives, diving together, sports bridging generations, everybody smiling for the cameras, and there's a lot of cameras, all up in his face like paparazzi on a movie star. And my guy yells out this so-called new era slogan, "Old man wanna fly." Crowd goes nuts, chanting his line, hyping him up. The energy radiating from this lively scene feels almost touching. But hold up, have you noticed that the chairs don't sound all that sincere? Sounds more like the kind of laugh you get when you're watching somebody trip on a banana peel, and don't think I'm just being salty. I'm telling you, you haven't even seen the minute before this. What went down that bridge and under it. This ain't no cute sports for everyone moment. This is when the requiem for a dream comes true. Alright, meet the cast. We're in Tianjin, on a spot called Shizilin Bridge. You got a bunch of retired uncles with too much free time, and they come here to dive off the bridge for kicks. Over time, more people showed up. And some jump in, some just stand around waiting for the next belly flop. At first, it was just about the thrill. But the moment they had audiences, they smell spotlight. They ain't got no pro athlete skills, not even close, but they know how to work a crowd. At the start, that crowd work was nothing more than yelling slogans. It's straight out of their glory days back when everything was collectively owned, and the boss man would wrap up his speech with some big booming slogan. Then the whole crowd would shout it back like a choir, all pumped up to prove they were loyal to the right policy. Times have changed, sure, but shouting slogans? That's still the go-to move for folks from that era when they want to show off their passion in public. Back then, it was the most intense, most socially acceptable, and honestly the only safe way to look fired up without getting in trouble. Most of the time, they had to choke down their personality and feelings for the so-called collective good. But the second they get a yellow slogan, that was their only legal outlet to let it all out. Out of all the uncles making a splash, literally, this guy stands out. He's not just here to yell a slogan. My man's got a full-long speech. Behind that 1 minute total unnecessary performance, there's a whole society built on suppression hiding in plain sight. Alright, let's break it down. Okay, and that line, "Welcome to Tianjin," sounds like some sweet old man trying to, show some hometown hospitality on stage, but this is not the fucking airport. And not everybody is your fucking guest. In this case, as an audience, you gotta buy into the idea that he somehow represents the entire damn city. He's basically trying to package himself as the people's representative, and that line is just his way of cozying up to the crowd. The OG version of this talk? Oh, you know it.
同志们辛苦了！为人民服务！受任不罪，听他指挥。
And I'm not trying to make shit up. And this uncle said the exact same shit in the same occasion. You gotta remember, this is a totally casual setting. Nothing political about it. So for him to pull off that kind of posture, it's not some random spur of the moment move. That's years of marinating in power culture. And sure, the crowd plays along, they interact with him. But it's not approval. It's more like feeding a performer. They're hyping him up, so he's gonna go even harder. Don't believe me? Listen. That laugh sounds familiar, right? Some people in the crowd already get how absurd this whole ritualistic talk is. They see the old man trying to use a public stage and the rain of onlookers to live out his little fantasy of being seen and being heard. So they play along. acting like the loyal masses under their leader, giving him exact feedback he craves. Not because they respect him, but because they want to keep him drunk on it, push him to go even harder, push him to go over the top. It's not that I'm laughing at him, I'm supporting him. And just like that, the show goes on.
各位大学生们，你们不能辜负父母的希望，祝你们学业有成，成为国家的栋梁，为祖国效力。
If a welcome to Tianjin could still barely pass as hospitality, then this next bit, dripping with a sense of mission, has zero logical connection to being a good host. The only thing it's got in common with the last line is the bureaucratic cosplay. Sure, it sounds like a sweet blessing from an elder to the younger generation, but really?
父母辛辛苦苦把你们生下来，一把屎一把尿的把你拉扯大，难道就是让你玩游戏吗？
It's an ex-leader type handing down some grand vision to the next generation. Bruh, you're jumping off a bridge. You don't need to give a State of the Union. This is pure overcompensation, filling the void after losing power, and trying to build a little fantasy world where I'm still in charge. I still matter. I'm him. And the audience's role is simple. Play along. Let him crown himself as the elder statesman. Don't pop the bubble. So when he drops that heavy mission style line, serve the motherland, like he's signing some top secret task, the place erupt in applause. Alright, let's talk about why the crowd plays along with the old man's act. They're into it because real life is way too suffocating. Everybody needs a safe target they can laugh at without catching heat. That so-called playing along is just moral smuggling in disguise, using ethics as a cover to sneak in the guilty pleasure. What's moral smuggling? Simple. I'm watching this old man embarrass himself. I'm cringing, but he's up there on stage, totally unbothered. So why should I feel awkward? I just shift the shame from the viewer to the performer. If someone's accidentally making a fool of themselves, watching them is a moral problem. But if they're choosing to do it, even putting on the show, then I'm just an audience member watching the performance. Nothing wrong with that, right? That's how ugly gawking gets rebranded as appreciation and entertainment. And here's the kicker. The crowd's cooperation just makes him double down. They're basically directing him into a free clown show, using his ridiculousness and the pull of the spectacle to justify why they have to keep watching. That's the whole psychological chain of guilty washing in the sport of public shaming. With that as their passport, a shameful gawker smuggles themselves into legit entertainment territory. No more baggage, no hit to their self-image. And yeah, I know, you're not totally buying it. That's cool. Keep your skeptical head on. Let's keep watch.
这就是我们天津的大爷，厉害，厉害啊！好，好。
You notice how long he's holding that power pose? Like, way too long. Long enough that even the audience who already stamped their guilt-free passport start feeling secondary fatigue. So somebody toss him this half-hearted "how" just to give him a way off the stage, basically saying, "Alright man, wrap it up." It's obvious. This whole thing of being surrounded, filmed, and expected is addictive for him. The man's hooked. He's playing it cool on purpose, dragging it out. Why? Because he needs to be waited for. Look at that. He wants that feeling to last a little longer. It's payback for the respect he doesn't get in real life. And that power stance? Tell me it's not the clearest, raw expression of his inner "I'm above all your peasants" vibe. Now, his whole leadership cosplay, reenacting the worship figure, pretty much explains itself, doesn't it? Sure, his speech is all over the place, doesn't make no damn sense, but if you look at the whole act, it's tied together by one thing: his hunger for social validation, for presence, for his self-imaged sense of authority. Roll it back. Watch that detail again. With the cheers getting louder, his face shifts from solemn and determined to proud, almost smug. And then someone in the crowd yells, "That's our Tianjin uncle!" Boom! Peak delusion unlocked. In that moment, he's no longer a self-appointed leader. He's a recognized spokesperson. It doesn't matter how ridiculous his speech or performance was, the show's maxed out. This is the perfect moment for the dive. And just when you think the old man's wrapped up his act,
1分钟，
快乐60秒。
我为大家闪着的是100年不变的老年灯，希望大家喜欢。
any normal person would be embarrassed to keep talking after doing the full stretch like that. But not this guy. He keeps going. Even sneaks a glance at the water to rehearse his line in his head, then look back up to add more. We've all played along with someone's little clown act before, laughed just to keep the vibe alive, but the way he pushes through, thick and skinned and determined to finish his speech, takes the discomfort to a whole new level. Comedy turns into tragedy. He's lost in it, dragging out that high he gets from his low stage. His reluctance to step down tells you exactly how suffocating his real life must be. And that's the thing. He's not just pitiful, he's pathetic. Let's watch that moment again.
闪着的是100年不变的老年灯。
The sickle, part of the Communist Party emblem, stands for the peasant class. He calls himself Old Sickle because he thinks the name shows the contribution he's made to the socialism. In his mind, that nickname means national hero. But the truth is, he was just another tiny replaceable cog in the machine like everyone else whose individuality got ground down by collectivism. People like that were usually identified as nothing more than ants. And when he shouts, "Oh, Sickle," look at his body language. He's begging the world to notice him. It's his trademark catchphrase, so the regulars in the crowd all know it by heart. Now, with the slogan nodded away, you think it's finally time for the dive, right? But the way this show been going, you wouldn't be surprised if he kept talking. And that's exactly it. He doesn't actually want to jump. He just wanted to be seen.
祖国人民，欢迎各地的朋友，坚定狮子林桥，欢迎你们。
This old man is improvising. From his body language to his lines, everything is plugged into a preset template of public behavior. He's not really communicating. He's just running the script he's learned for how to act in front of a crowd. And in that template, whenever he craves more applause and cheers, the go-to line is a warm welcome. So he repeats the first line of his speech. Only this time, he upgrades it. He's not just representing the old man of Tianjin or even the city of Tianjin itself. Now, he's speaking on behalf of the entire nation. You can only imagine what that really feels like. In just 60 seconds, his emotions are peaking, spinning out of his control. This could very well be the highest point of his life. He's drunk on it. He's lost in it. This time, he doesn't just look down at the water. He even strikes a diving pose. If that makes you think he's about to jump, you're being too optimistic. What he's really doing is ransacking his mental script, searching for any line that might rain out one last wave of cheers from the crowd.
我为大家展示的是老样也要飞，老样也要飞，老样也要飞。
It's obvious he's run out of shit to say, so he falls back on the same template again. What I'm here to show you is blah blah blah. What he's showing isn't the dive. It's how amazing he thinks he is. He repeats, "Old man wanna fly," one more time, his last desperate bid for applause. But after this many attempts to squeeze a reaction out of the crowd, he's drained dry. And then he finally jumps to a smattering of sighs, scattered chuckles, and those hollow canned gasps from people who only want their phone's video to sound good. And that's how this little shit show ends, with the old man basking in his moment of heroism and the audience walking away with a clown they can post to the trending page. This is a snapshot of where Chinese society stands today. Those who lived through the last stage of suffocation know their time is almost up. They grab at any stage they can find to claw back a sense of presence and recognition. But the fear of being punished for speaking their true feelings drives them to hide behind the pre-approved language of authority, chasing the illusion of acceptance without ever risking honesty. Those live in the current age of suffocation don't dare break the system either, so they laugh at absurdity in the tiny cracks left between its wall. They're not watching the old man dive, they're watching him fall. We live under a glass dome, a perfect utopia on the outside, while inside, contradictions grind us down, putting us further and further from anything that could feel like happiness.